welcome to Delicate Dark Girl. I hope you can hear me. I have the heater on. Today I am doing makeup for a phone interview, like a face thing, a video call interview. And I'm basically going to do the makeup that I do for work. Where's there glitter on my face? Well, I'm out of it. And this is not even an early day again. I'm just so tired because of my period. Does anybody else get like that? Anybody else's energy levels get depleted? Bing! Eyebrows. What? I picked up a mirror to do my eyebrows, which makes sense if we pick up other things as well. We're going to use the Nicka K Auto Eyeliner in dark brown, AA02, and the e.l.f. Insta Lift Brow Pencil. Let's use it for the front. Double time. It's probably very good for a lot of people the way it is, so I'll just find a thinner pencil. A little too gray, but for the front it's okay. We want to keep our face open and airy. And we're just using the dark brown to do the real bit. Anyway, back to my energy levels. Because, you can't hear me talking about that. It's not even like I'm in a bad mood. Sometimes I am in a bad mood on my period, but for the most part, it's just like the mood swings happen before and during the period. I'm just tired and irritable. But this time, I'm just tired. But I did have a thought. It was kind of like a breakthrough thought. In the past, I think just 10 years, I've really been working towards loving my period again. Or loving my period, because I never loved it. I just think it was something that was in the way. But anyway, in the last 10 years, I remember on my personal channel, I started a series and I tried to recruit some people to be part of it that were outside of my house. And that's when I realized how stigmatized periods were. It was around me. No one even wanted to talk about their period on camera. We're using ColourPop Control on the brow. Whoa, okay, bad choice. That's so red. We're using soft brown on the eyebrow. So the videos were just first period, most embarrassing stories, and tips and tricks. That was it. And I wanted to get it from a lot of different people, so a lot of different people could see all these different things that were the period or whatever. About your period, how different it could be. Me and two of my sisters did the video, and it was completely different in the same house. So, nice statement, clean eyebrows. I think they're all right today. They have to be all right. Moving forward. ColourPop, the Sparkler palette. It's a little quad. I thought it was great. Anyway, nobody wanted to talk about it, and I was really frustrated trying to find someone who wanted to talk about their period. Nowadays, I'm seeing lots of commercials and lots of businesses all talking about how you need to talk about your period, but it was quite frustrating then. So I was basically on this journey by myself about loving my period because I couldn't find anything. Not that it wasn't there. It's just that simple statement. I couldn't find it. And so I was feeling really lost. And I did find some books, like just fiction books that talked about periods nicely during the years, especially Sassafras, Cypress and Indigo by Ntozake Shange. The way she talked about periods was great. The way, what was her name? She wrote Moon in the Palace. And the way she talked about body hair was fantastic. Books is what helped me. Fiction books is what helped me recenter how I looked at my body throughout my life anyway, and obviously my own mother. And so when I decided to love my period and go through a whole body metamorphosis, like mentally, see that? Oh right, so I put that on as the base all the way up high, and then I put the deep one just on the lid and then blended it together. So you can see that it's a soft gradient. So as I'm going on this journey trying to love my period and stuff, I had a breakthrough this morning. I'm just gonna take a little bit of that other brown down here and just move it that way. I got up at 3 in the morning to change my pad and use the bathroom, and I said to myself, I think I just realized that I'm going to miss my period when it's gone. Through these 10 years while I was trying to love my period, I was having a routine. I'm trying to figure out which glitter I'll use. I think I'll go in the taupes and use that guy. So I've been getting a routine of like the best foods to eat while I'm on my period, you know, what to do, what to wear, the period care, like my materials, like the pad materials and stuff that I use, some tampons and stuff, especially like for work and everything. I really started to get into a groove, and especially the what to eat part, because that part helped me feel less weak. And I also learned when to exercise and when not to exercise. A lot of people say that exercise helps with your cramps and stuff on your period, and that is true to an extent. It depends on the severity of your cramps and how your uterus is positioned in your body. Because of the way they explain different pains when you have a period, I self-diagnose that I always keep room for correction, I might have a slightly tilted uterus, which I think a lot might be more general, more widely spread than people actually think. Like, they want us all to have a uterus that's just upright, but I think most people might have a tilted uterus in some capacity. Anyway, so that was that, just right on the eye, just to give it a little bit of life and a little sparkle, like blink, move, I'm so lively, but that's enough. It's not a disco party. We're gonna use that in the inner corner. Anyway, so as I got a routine and as I started to learn more, like keeping the body warm for me, like my insides. Now, I know the body's already technically 98 degrees, right? But you know how if you eat spicy food, you'll feel hot all of a sudden, like it rises the body temperature even more, like the gut. So I should specify, it's like keeping the gut warm at that point. That's why some people put like a heat compress down there and stuff, like where your intestines are and everything. That has helped me tremendously. So like drinking lots of hot tea, things with ginger or any kind of spices that will heat the gut a little bit, not like inflame it, but like, you know, just keep it a steady warm temperature, keeping the space around me, the ones that I can control. Obviously you can't control things at work, but that's when my clothes come into play. Bing. And so when I went to the bathroom, I had the thought that I was gonna miss it, and I was gonna miss the kind of ritualistic aspect that it has become for me. My period, like the week before, then the week during, and a couple days after, have become a space and time every moon cycle for me that feels like a place of healing. My emotions are heightened, like I really get more in touch with myself, like mentally, like all the things that are stressing me out, I cannot push them down during those times. So it really forces me to face the things that upset me and really address them and try to figure out how I can live best with these kinds of things. All that stuff, it happens on a regular cycle. I'm a type of person that gets my period absolutely regularly, and that was part of the reason why I used to hate it so much. I'm just going to use Ulta Mink, the gel liner. I feel like I'm on a brown line today, so. And we're just going to follow the natural eye. See that? Just makes the eye look really clear, really stand out, like pop. And so, as I've come to really appreciate that part, and all of this isn't just 10 years in the making now, like a lot of this stuff, ironically, was things I did to keep my period feeling so that I could feel like it wasn't happening. But now I've changed the mindset as to why I'm doing these things, and it's not to keep my period as if it's not happening. It was more so to keep me feeling my best as my period is happening. That's how I changed the mindset behind some of the practices that I did when I was thinking more toxically about my period. But I wasn't doing toxic things except when I went on birth control simply to stop my period. That's its own story. And then we're just going to use some Mega Protein, Wet n Wild on the lash, right in the middle to open the eye up some more. Just going to put a bit of makeups on. Oh no! Put it on just lightly all over, just to even out the skin. And then focus mainly on under eye concealer. Okay, concealer time. This is Juvia's 6. Scraping a barrel. Then I just highlight it after concealing properly. I highlight. Oh, this is Wet n Wild, some bright ass thing. What is this? Oh, dark cocoa. Here's the other side. Then, and just carry it. And so now we take a bit of foundation, clean the puff off, just go over that part so that it blends together. Until you end up with a wonderful base and concealed eyes. Look at that. We're finished. The last thing I'm going to put on is a lip. Let's put on Yoko here, that I now use sparingly. This is Miriam from Uoma Beauty. I actually like that. Layer them together before it fully dries down and create that color. That's really cute. So now it's a rosy brown. Wow. I've never done that before. I usually use Coretta, and I usually use a lot of it. I never use just a touch of Miriam to create this. Done. Phone interview ready. I look awake. I look clean. Okay. Bye. Good luck to me.